Morning, everybody. It is 8 a.m. It is January 21st. We have a new president. Trump was inaugurated yesterday, signed a lot of executive orders. Pretty cool. Um, Welcome to my channel. All right, so we left off on Friday gapping up and holding the gap. Okay, gapped up and held the gap. We actually had tech was the weakest sector that day, but the market still managed to push higher. A little pullback at the end of the session, but pretty much held the gap. That's what's going on there. Now, obviously, with Trump in office, you had a big dip down in the market in the overnight session and then recovered. So that's what's kind of going on right now. So without further ado, welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use market profile and volume profile to find structure in the markets along with supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, the most traded price of the year, the month, the week, and the previous day. That's my edge. How I look at the markets and see structure. All right. Now, when the market opens, there's a whole new data set, and I decide to put risk on or risk off. Right. Now, when I do that new analysis, okay, I will make if the trade is educational, I will make a video and I will post it on my YouTube Shorts. Okay, my YouTube Shorts. Of course, if you enjoy my content, you could wait till later or you could do it now. Smash that like button for me. That would mean a lot. Now, like I said, I post my trading videos on YouTube Shorts as well as X at Gonzo719. All right. Also TikTok, that's back, Gonzo719 Trader. All right. Now I'm trying to build a community and I figured out the problem with that link. All right. Trying to build a community, Confluence Trading, trying to build a little profile army here. So go to my YouTube page, open the link, should work. If there's any problems, please let me know. All right, because once more people come in, I'm gonna keep continuing to put more content out, and we'll have a more intimate experience with me in the community. All right, so check that out and let me know if there's any problems. It should work. It should work now. All right, all right. Let's go right into the futures. Uh, well, actually, obviously, subscribe and set an alert. I do this every day. Around today is a little earlier because I take my daughter to the bus, but usually around 8:10 a.m. Join me, recap, story, market news, economic calendar, leaders and laggards. All right, join your boy every day. All right, let's get right into the futures watch list here, and let's see what's moving markets today. Okay, now who's the leader today? That would be your Russell. Your Russell. Okay, and your Dow. Your Russell's up 0.61, Dow's up 0.46, Nasdaq's up 0.46, ES up 0.40, 30-year bonds being bought. Silver up 0.32, gold down 0.35, VIX down 0.38, under 16. Bitcoin has been a wild one with the Trump coin, the Melania coin. Um, I think it pushed down to like 103. Now it's up. It's down 0.59. 10-year yield is starting to fall. Okay, 10-year yield starting to fall. Went up to 4.8 yield, down to 4.5 yield, down 0.62 today. The dollar is down 0.63. Crude. It's finally pulling back down 2.27%. Now, the crude's an interesting one, and I'm watching it. Might do an options trade and futures on that. Um, Pretty topped out, and it's a little too double-edged sword with Trump, right? He wants to drill, baby, drill, which could make money for some refining companies and stuff like that. But what's that's going to do? Put more supply out. Crude might become cheaper. So really looking at that. Okay, Ether down 6.2%. That's pretty significant drop for Ethereum. All right, moving on to the Mag 7 Plus. And who do we have here leading the pack? Tesla. Tesla's up 2.06%, followed by Broadcom. Now, Trump, I believe, got rid of those curbs, or is planning to get rid of those curbs, but I think he did it. So that's going to be good for semis. So Broadcom up 1.80, Amazon's up 1.23, Google is up 0.92, Netflix up 0.82, Nvidia's up 0.57, AMD's up 0.54. All right, moving on. There is a laggard here, folks. Apple. Apple's down 1.82, succumbing to that price. succumbing to that price because of they're not the number one cell phone seller in China. Huawei and other local dealers are. Give me 1 second here. I just need to help my daughter with something. All right, getting back to Apple. Now, I don't know if that news is continuing the weakness today. I haven't seen any news, but there probably might be something else in the mix there. Okay. Now, moving on to the top sector stocks. We look at the leader here. Snowflake. Snowflake's up 1.18. Qualcomm and Semi up 1.12. Uber's up 0.83. Salesforce up 0.72. United Healthcare up 0.64. CAT's up 0.51. All right. Laggard. There is not a laggard in this list. Let's go to the swing trade list. Let's see who's leading there. Charles Schwab, I saw reported earnings this morning. Obviously, they're probably good. Up 5.14%. Robinhood up 4.09. 3M up 4.06. They reported earnings, I believe, as well. Ride up 3.29. Intel up 2.7. Wayfair is up 2.6. Now I'm only going to do just 2%ers here. Palantir up 2.26. SoFi up 2.18. Followed by Nubank's up almost 2%, 1.99. All right, let's see. Look at the laggards here. Who's lagging today? Donald Trump stocks down 7.52. Walgreens Boots Alliance down 5.91. Lennar is down 5.15. Affirm down 1.45. What is CF? I don't remember what CF is. I don't remember what that is. Usually I know every ticker. Harley Davidson down 1.17. Affirm down 1%. All right, that's your laggards there. Moving on to the sectors, the guts of the market. Now, interesting, right? This is what I was talking about, the little disconnect here. Energy's up. Oh, hold on here. All right, let's go. Let's recap that because I just, for some reason, that list was not sorted correctly. So the leader is semiconductors, 0.88. Discretionary, that's your Amazon, Tesla, Home Depot. Your utilities, that's your NextEra Energy, your Duke uh, Energy. All right, up 0.65. Financials up 0.46. Industrials up 0.42. Communications up 0.33. All right, so there is no laggard here. Now, what I was saying before about energy is, see, it's up slightly, but crude is down, right? So that's the little conundrum there. All right, that's the little conundrum. All right, now moving on to the economic calendar for the week. We'll look at earnings in the economic calendar. Let's look at that together. All right, so today, 30-year mortgage came out at 7. We're at, interesting. Oh, that's tomorrow. We have no data today. Interesting. We have nothing really on the books today. Tomorrow's the 30-year mortgage and API crude. Thursday's initial jobless claims and crude inventories. Friday we have global composite PMI, manufacturing services, existing home sales, and Michigan consumer sentiment at 10 a.m. So kind of a lighter week in data here. Now let's move on to some earnings because earnings is really starting to kick off. All right, like I said, Charles Schwab, 3M reported this morning. D.R. Horton. Now, after the close today, we got Netflix. Okay, we have United. We have Interactive Brokers, Capital One. Okay, before the open tomorrow, Procter & Gamble, Abbott Labs, Johnson & Johnson, Halliburton, GE Vernova, Ally. Okay, Travelers. And that's all I'll go over because that's today after the close. You won't talk to me and before the open, and then tomorrow we'll talk about the close. All right, of Wednesday. So that's earnings. All right. Now, if we look at any kind of news here, let's just look at it together. Here we go. Now we'll get the reason for this weakness in Apple. All right. Let's look at this together. Okay. Let's see here. U.S. listed shares in Chinese companies jumped in a sign of investor relief that China had at least initially avoided harsh levels that had been proposed by Trump. Okay. Apple. Share slumped. Here we go. After analysts at Jefferies slashed their rating of the iPhone manufacturer to underperform from hold, and independent research found that sales in China of the tech giant's flagship device plunged 18.2% during the December quarter. So the December news is still making moves here. Scotch tape maker 3M reported fourth quarter results that exceeded analyst expectations, while its 2025 earnings outlook was largely in line with consensus estimates. GM shares increased after analysts at Deutsche Bank improved their rating of the car maker to buy from hold. Urban Outfitters shares gained after analysts at Morgan Stanley upgraded their rating to the clothing retailer. Charles Schwab's share spiked after the initial financial service company posted adjusted fourth quarter earnings per share that beat average estimates. D.R. Horton shares climbed after the home construction company backed its full year revenue. All right. Now, is there any more news here? Let's see. All right, this is what Trump. Trump says to unleash American fossil fuels, halt climate cooperation. President Trump on Monday laid out sweeping plan to maximize oil and gas production, including by declaring a national energy emergency to speed permitting, rolling back environmental protections, and withdrawing the U.S. from an international pact to fight climate change. Okay. Bitcoin rally cools as Trump makes no new mention of crypto. There you go. And again, I'm only going to mention something that stands out to me. Let's see, Nubank. The Brazilian-based holding company is considered moving its legal domicile to Britain ahead of its global expansion that may include the United States. Its founder, CEO David Velez, told Reuters, "We are considering the UK," he said, while cautioning tax changes bring uncertainty in terms of jurisdiction and where to operate. Okay. And then it looks like Starbucks company CEO Brian Nichols said on Friday the coffee giant will cut jobs to optimize its support teams as part of the company's ongoing turnaround efforts. All right. Walgreens Boot Alliance U.S. Justice Department Friday accused the pharmacy chain operator of contributing to the U.S. opioid epidemic. That's not good. All right. AMD Citigroup cuts target price to 175. All right. Intel Citigroup cuts target price to 21 from 22. All right. I think we're done there. All right. We're going to skip upgrades, downgrades in the essence of time. We talked about some already. All right. We can get right back to dailies. Just look at what's going on with the daily charts here. All right, let's look at these dailies together. All right, so let's look at what we did. So there's a pretty key level here, 509.36 to be exact. That is resistance and last week's highs. Well, the previous week's highs, not last week, because this chart hasn't taken in effect of this week yet, because we haven't opened yet. Okay, so the previous weeks we hit the previous week's highs, so that whole weakness was taken back. Pretty crazy over the 50-day moving average. So we gapped up, held the 50, hit there, and then pulled back. Right, where are we at now? 599. Let's call it 599.95. 599.95. So we're gapping up today. Okay. Let's look at futures to see if we can really hold above this level. Futures will actually give us the previous week's highs. All right, so we broke this downtrend. We can get rid of that in futures. Okay. Broke the downtrend. We're above the 100-day. We're above the 20. Right? Above the 50 now in futures. Now you can see this was last week's, right here, last week's highs. Right there. We're above it slightly right now. And then the previous week's highs is here. We came all the way up to those previous week's highs and got resistance. Okay. We got resistance. Now we still have this main downtrend line that has not been broken. Okay. So we got to keep an eye on that. Now, look at this little swing high here, and that's around 6101. We could talk about that level later. Okay. Let's look at Qs. Okay. Also, this white line here is the year-to-date VWAP. We are above it. Okay. Year-to-date VWAP. So the sellers who sold into this are underwater now. All right. So even if you bought here, you're in profit. Even if you bought here as it went down. So Qs. Look at the Qs. Now the Qs opened up Is that really what happened? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Pushed down, right, to the previous day's lows, and then got bought up. Got bought up. Okay. Over to 50, over to 20. Okay. This key level here, 520, it's called 528, is above us. Now, where are we at? 524.11. 524.11 is right at the highs of Friday. Right at the highs of Friday. So, um, we'll see here. What are we at now? 524.20. Yeah, I just did that. We're up here. All right. Now, I think it pierced this downtrend line. That's why I don't have it here anymore. Okay. Let's look at the key. Let's look at the futures. All right. So I have a couple trend lines here. So it broke this one, and it broke that one. All right. Now where are we at? We're right, pretty much at last week's highs in futures. You do have a trend line here that hasn't been broken. Um, so we're almost see this swing high here. We didn't quite take that out yet. So we just have to see. Starting a new trend here. Okay. Okay, so this is what futures look like. Now we can move on to the triple headed monster, and let's look at that bond market because the bond market might have topped out. Don't Not sure yet. Let's look at that 10-year yield. Let's look at it together, and we'll start with the bond market 10-year yield. Look at that. Oh, wait a minute here. Okay, now let's look at this. It made this 4.08 yield, right? 4.8 yield went up one, like one, two, three, four times tried to make it there, failed, right? Failed. Came all the way down to 4.5. Now it's getting bought up a little bit. Now that would mean sold because this is the inverse of actual what happens in the bond market. All right. So maybe people taking profit or whatever because you got this 4.5 yield as a key support. You lose that. Wow, we can go all the way down to 4.13. Just have to see. Okay, now let's look at the dollar. How does this dollar look? All right, so the dollar topped out at 110, pulled back all the way to 108, but today is still down. Now it's interesting here. We closed there, still down from the previous close, but you paired a lot of losses here. Right at the 20-day, we have to see where that goes. Let's go to the fear gauge. That's your VIX. Your VIX, your VIX is at 15.74. We kind of spiked up. Now we're kind of trading in a range here with the VIX. Still going to be decent volatility. And of course, now with Trump, I think there should be some nice movement today. All right. That is your triple headed monster. And let's move on. Okay. Let's move on to the main event. That's your market profile, your volume profile. That's where we do our long and short trade scenarios. Okay. Let's look at that here. All right. So we had a little baby session in futures yesterday. Okay. It's kind of like the volume was very, very low. Actually, the volume wasn't that bad. Well, no, it was low. It was low. 127,000. We're used to getting almost a million. So, all right. So let's look at this together. All right. Let's get out my trusty. I thought I had my. Oh yeah, I do. All right. Here's my marker. And let's look at some structure. Let's look at some levels. Now you can see we pull back all the way almost to the most traded price of the month and the week, 59.88. That was where weakness got bought up. Okay, that's where weakness got bought up. Okay, that's a lot of excess there. Okay, a lot of excess. Now price is right here at 60.57. 60.57. Okay, now we opened here, so this is a pretty big range, right? And this is really like the session from Friday is right here. Because then you have an overnight session, a little baby session that has almost no volume, and then you have the overnight session. That's how this looks here. Okay, so we're kind of like building out new volume here. And if you can make this price around 60.42, the most traded price of the week, move that up there, that's going to be bullish for the market. Okay, it's going to be bullish. We do have some supply, we do have some demand here. Okay, so a little tricky. We do have some single prints here, some thin volume. So, and you do have some key resistance up here around 60, 80, 60, 70, 60, 79, 78. Okay. And this right here is last week's highs. So right now we're above those. Okay. I don't think this is an easy chart to read today. Okay. Got a lot of stuff that happened after Friday's session, and then big session here. So what you can say is you're building out volume and value up here. Okay. So really, it's all about this demand, okay, and this resistance here, okay. Now let me show you really quickly the resistance I'm talking about, okay. Let me go to this right here, and this is your ES, yeah. All right, so look at this resistance, the weekly. This is a weekly high right there, 60.67. Another weekly high here last week, 60.51. And now we made a high here and broke that, but let's just call it 60.68. 60.68 is a key level. If we push up here, we probably can maybe go up to 61.33. So that's the level to look at. Okay, that's the level to look at. All right. So let's just get right into scenarios here. I'm not going to play around. All right. Let's do it here. So what I'm going to look at today, all right, what I'm going to, we got a little poor high too as well in the overnight session. What I'm going to look at today is what do we do at this level? Why? Because it's the most traded price right here of Friday. And you have demand here. And you also have that weekly, last week's highs. I want to see what we do here. Okay, so whatever we do up here, come up here, get some weakness. I want to see what we do if we come down into this area. Do we defend it? Because if we do, you could have a chance to come up and try to take out that 60, 68 resistance and maybe push up. Okay, got a lot of overhead supply, so maybe can go up to 60, 80 and change. Let's see what really happens. You got to make a VPOC of 6100 here. Okay, let me bring this down so you can see that naked VPOC that I'm talking about right here. Okay, so that's the long side. Okay, now the short side is here. Same thing. Okay, this demand and that most traded price. Okay, bulls need to defend this here. So if we come up to here and we get resistances in 60, 68 in this area, okay, and we start to go like this, and the most traded price of the overnight is around 60.55. You come through that, and you got to see what we do if we react with the 60.33 level. It's the most traded price of Friday. If we lose that, look at the thin volume here. You could see the pocket in the composite profile. You could definitely go down and test 59.88. 59.88 is the most traded price of the week, the most traded price of the month. Big level. If you lose that, boy, you got a big level of 59.61. Could take that out. There's a big gap. Month-to-date VWAP. Now, like I said, this could get really ugly. Fill the gap. Fill the gap. What level? 59.09. Don't know if that's in the cards, but it could really get nasty. Okay. It could also bounce here. I don't know. But that's your shorts. All right. Moving on to the NASDAQ. All right. Let's go to the NASDAQ. Let's look at the structure here. Look at the structure here. Okay. Now, let's get my white out. All right. So price is here, 21695, right there. Right there is your price. You have, let's make this bigger. Let's make this bigger here. Make it bigger and bring it down here. Okay. So profiles kind of balanced. Got double distribution here. All right. Uh, our most traded price of the week still 214. Most traded price of the month 213.50 right here. Big levels, right? You see where this price came right into and jumped out, right? Those prices are magnets. This acted as the wall. This is the bear bull line for this market. Came all the way down here. Got bought up. Okay? Got bought up. So now we couldn't take out this supply. And we're getting some resistance here. This is last week's highs. Okay, so the exact same situation here. It's pretty nice. You got the structure here for both. So very easy to talk about here. Just different levels, but the right to get the same structure. So we're gonna get right into that Nasdaq scenarios here. Okay, very easy today. It's all about defending this demand zone and the most traded price of Friday because you have thin volume here, right? So the market comes up, pushes up, gets some resistance here. I want to see what it does this week. Did they view up here? This actually right here, this 216.20 is actually the most traded price of the week in the 24-hour chart. So that's even more supportive here. So we can come in here. I just want to see if the market can start to go. Yes, we can hit maybe 218 and change. Right? There's supply 218.50. Okay, that's what I'm interested in for a long. Now for a short, it's kind of the same in the inverse, right? Here's your demand and the most traded price of Friday. Bulls need to hold that. Bears want to break it, right? So if we push up into this supply and we start to fail, right? We start to fail, come through last week's highs. They want to see what happens here, right? We come through the most traded price of the 24 hours session. If we break this and hold, we could take this out, this thin volume, go right back to 213.50 bull bear line. If you take this out, boom, month to day VWAP, you can go all the way down possibly and fill this gap. Like I said, we could also bounce here. Okay, that's what I'm looking at today. All right, that's our scenarios today, folks, and that's it for me. Hopefully you enjoyed this content. Please smash that like button. All right, smash the like button for me. All right. Also, join me every day around 8:10 a.m. Get the lowdown from your boy about the recap of the markets, long, short trade scenarios, news, economic calendar. That's your boy. And if I put risk on its educational video, I post it to my ex at Gonzo719. And you also check out my YouTube shorts. All right, Gonzo719 Trader on TikTok. All right, like I said, I have a Discord. Trying to get more people involved here. Confluence Trading. Check the link out on my YouTube page. That should work now. That should be fixed. Everybody, we have our scenario. No trades to trade. Stay green. And I'll see everybody tomorrow.